Back in the building, Eat the Flair TV. Peace to the gods and goddesses, queens and kings. And you already know we back at it again. So today I'm going to just talk about a topic of what I see in the community that I'm in now. What I see day in and day out in these communities. And we have a lot of control over whatever's happening, but people don't want to put in that effort. Even the government, even religion, and even in the communities that we are from day in and day out. The problem is in society now that we don't want to tax, right? These big corporations like Amazon, like Walmart, like what else? Target, or whatever, these big corporations. Anybody that's making say $100,000 a year, $1 million, these billionaires, those are the people that we need to tax, because the ones that's getting taxed is the 95% of the consumers, that is the working force of this planet, right? Because it's the minority of people, because that's what they want to call everybody, but the minority of people, but it's the majority. But if we learn how to tax, right, Walmart and these billionaires, all these billionaires, I mean internationally known, globally known, we'll make this planet a better place. Why? Because we could use all the resources. Because if the working field is the minority of people, it's the majority, we're supposed to get back in return 100% of the investment, and the investor's supposed to only make 10% back, and he will always stay afloat to actually even getting something done for his community. So now the community is gonna suffer no matter what if we don't invest in our own communities, and in these companies, these multi-million-dollar companies that don't invest in their own community, but they could suck the life out of the community, suck the life out of the public, suck the life out of the working force of the people of society today. But at the end, the society is suffering. Because now if you see all these institutes, right, in all these suburban areas and cities, and it's gonna get to, and it's already in the tropics, right? You can see this in our community. You got rehab centers. You have what else? You have these methadone clinics. You have the dope boys standing. So we are doing this to our community. If we could see this in the community day in and out, that we wake up to this madness of what's happening, we have to learn how to tax these billionaires, to actually bring it back to our community and give other community, the ones who are working day in and day out, more back in return, because you tax the minority of people, the working force of the people, right? Like a billionaire. And then vice versa, then charge a billionaire like the way you're supposed to charge somebody who's working in the work field, the minority of people. So I think the minority of people who make less money should end up getting back a return of a high taxes, get back a nice tax return, instead of getting back a low tax return. So at the end of the day, we are doing this to ourselves. We could fix the community, even religion too, when they ask for donations to fix the community, because we have enough money just to remove everything that doesn't add up to our community, especially these institutes, right? With the pill popping happy industry, because now the community is already flooded with the pharmaceutical industry, and that pharmaceutical industry is making billions and billions of dollars. That's a multi-million-dollar company, corporations. So up till we don't learn that we need to tax and get at these millionaires to give it back into the community, so we could do something back, so we could do something for the community back in return of what it is that we don't have, that already been taken from us, that we need to put this money back into the community. Because they already sucked the life out of what you say, out of, how can I say, they sucked the life out of all cities, right? Even from nature. So nature's been sucked out of all these cities. Now sucking the nature out of these cities, now we living in a genetically modified cities now. Everything is genetically modifying us. So now we living in a synthetic world. And everybody's been genetically modified because everybody has an excuse of why they on some pharmaceutical drugs, or why they on some type of drugs, or using a supplement, of something that doesn't benefit them, and you can see this day in and day out through our communities. And so we don't realize that we need to invest in our communities day in and day out. Even when you seeing someone go through it for the right reason, not the wrong reasons, then we'll get somewhere. But the 95% of the consumers ain't getting nowhere fast because they are getting paid back a low tax refund at the end of the year like they billionaires. So the game is backwards. We need to switch that game around. The billionaires should get taxed more money for the money that they make, and the less fortunate that they say the minority of people, there's the majority, should get paid back a bigger lump sum tax at the end of the year. But it's not up to that don't happen. We're gonna keep paying the price day in and day out. And this is why we have to wake up, because if we don't wake up at the end of the day, we're gonna be stuck paying for the next man's way of living and getting richer and richer, but the poor is poor. Now we in a society where rich is rich and poor is poor. Nah, it ain't supposed to be like that by 2020. It's supposed to be an even balance. So if you are the one who you are the hard money investor, so only supposed to be taking 10% back and everything that they invest in. So these big companies like Amazon, Walmart, Target, all these stores that's been taken from the community, even from mom and dad shops, because we used to have a lot of mom and dad shops growing up. Everybody have their own business. Now these big corporations came, and now they not getting taxed. These big tax paying dollars, they got to get taxed. These taxpayers' dollars, these billionaire, this minority way of getting paid, because the minorities are getting paid like they billionaires, and the billionaires are getting taxed like they not getting taxed for nothing, like they the poor when they really not the poor. So we need to switch the hands. That's what the government should do. Reset this, and let's flip the hands. Let's flip that card, and now let's make the billionaires pay that big taxes, that big fine of taxes, and let them get the short end of the stick this time around for 2020. Even the scales. Now it's time to balance it. If the government do the right thing, if religion do the right thing, the community do the right thing. And this is where we have to stand up for each other. Because if we see that we are being used, manipulated day in and day out, but we are the 95% of the consumers, and we are the minority that need a second party to do, or a third party to do anything for us, why they not taking that hit? When we are the ones running this, we are the ones supplying this, we are the ones maintaining this, we are the ones that go in and day out, don't even have time for our own families when we put in 12 hours a day in what we doing that doesn't benefit us at the end, but benefits someone else. So now you're poor, you're rich, but it has to change, because eventually if you flip that card, the minority be the majority, and the millionaires that is less of them and more of us wouldn't be so much of them. But it's all about a money and a greed thing out here. And I noticed that people don't want to put it into their communities. We at a point where we ain't supposed to be seeing clinics, methadone clinics, rehab centers in our community, because if you don't see these in rich communities, but you see it in suburban areas, and they call them the hood. Why these are in the hood? Things that our kids ain't supposed to be seeing. So our kids ain't special because they can see what somebody else kids can't see in certain neighborhoods that they're not from, that they can't see. That's kind of messed up. So remove it from all these communities, because we have enough manpower and enough money in this world to have the solution already by now to help everyone and everyone. It ain't supposed to be no starving people. It ain't supposed to be no poor nutrition. We supposed to all know about a perfect health and a perfect nutrition. But everybody's, once again, they call it the deaf, dumb, and blind. People are going back to sleep. Wake up. See what's happening in the community day in and day out. Because I see it. And I just moved out here to Rhode Island. But what I see, because I deal with the community day in and day out. So I see and I hear. And I talk to people daily for at least 12 hours a day. I'm talking to people. And I'm hearing what they're saying. And I'm hearing what they're complaining about. And I'm hearing the way they see the future and how they want to see a change. I hear it. And I pay attention. And people be like, yo, but why are you so focusing on what other people are saying and what they want? Because it has to be a change. Everybody's looking for answers. And the answers start with us. And we have to switch it to start taxing the high-paying billionaires. These high corporations that's getting all this money, but that's not investing in their own community. But we see this bunch of confusion in our community that doesn't add up for me, you, or someone else that's going to come into these communities. Mind you, we've been in these communities for years. Remind you, they've been playing this pill-popping game with the community for years, having everybody on a happy pill quick. Everybody want to get on a happy pill. Everybody's, if you notice, 95% of everybody in the earth is consuming pharmaceutical drugs. Everybody has a prescription. Everybody's doing something that they know that they're using that as an escape route to continue to do it. But that's played out. Wake up, put that down, because these institutes ain't gonna give you nothing that's gonna benefit you to rise you out of the predicament that you're in, mentally, physically, and emotionally, or in your nutrition. So it has to start with even hitting these billionaires with high tax rackets. Take this money back from the rich, the billionaires, and give it back to the poor, but I say the minority of people, the 95% of the working force field of America. That is all all dark melanated people to Latin America that is paying the price right now. Even the Caucasian man is paying the price. Everybody's paying the price right now for not doing the right thing. So when people are going to start doing the right things, when people are going to start putting down these pharmaceutical prescription, because everybody's prescribed something. You ask somebody, yo, I gotta take a pill out of certain. You got a prescription already. You can use the mind. You can heal yourself mentally, physically, emotionally by eating the right things, by thinking the right way. Just thinking the right way, you're there. Just by thinking the right way, by seeing what's happening in the community, what we could do as the people. Because the people is like, oh, you waiting for one person to do it. No, we all got to do it. We all are blamed for what we do day in and day out. That doesn't help our school system. Even the school system's nutrition is very poor. Why you think the kids' schools nutrition, when they go to school, they have no balance? Because now their nervous system is compromised. Their pH balance keeps dropping. So they can't comprehend themselves while they're in school behind that poor nutrition. So we even have to check the school systems. People want to attack themselves. People want to act like they know more than others, but nobody want to attack the right things. Let's attack the right things, our school system, that school lunch. Change that school. I guarantee you, if you could change the school system's nutrition to an alkaline nutrition and bring everything that's organic into a school system, that I guarantee you, our kids will vibrate to a higher state. And once again, is that food is the genetically modified everything. And everything is genetically modified already. Even the way you're supposed to be thinking by now, the correct way, they even genetically modify your thoughts, even when you're saying something right. Because people want to see you in the void of confusion. So it's time to wake up. It's time to balance the beams. It's time to even the scales. And it's time to do something about it. And the government have to do something about it even faster than what they started this. Why? Because they have to tax these billionaires. Now let's balance it out. Now I give the 95% of the work environment, the force field of America, the helping hand again. Let's give the hand to those that need the hand, not to those that don't need the hand. Those who don't need the hand can help the ones that need the hand to actually get something going. Because if you do the mathematics, right? I did the mathematics on the land that we have on this earth. And we divide it into everybody that's on this earth. We have like 6 acres each. If I don't know if y'all understand what I just said, do the mathematics, right, on how much land this earth has. And if you divide it into the amount of people that's here, we all have 6 acres of land to sustain, to maintain, to grow our fruits and vegetables and our crops and have something to maintain. Because that's a job in itself, maintaining a crop of fields of fruits and vegetables and farming. So if the government was smart, would do the amount of land that we have, because people have lands for days, right? But they don't even know what to do with it at the end. Wow, you don't know what to do with the land that you have, but you have over 500-600 acres, but it's people out here who are homeless, people out here who are willing to put in the effort into maintaining a farm, but people are selfish because it's theirs. People, when they own something, that's mine. Yeah, ain't nothing yours in this world, because remember, you got the loan from the bank, and the bank loaned you something. If you don't pay that mortgage, and I say the mortgage, but after you own it, you don't pay the taxes on that land, on that property, you'll get a lien on that property that doesn't belong to you. So at the end of the day, you don't own nothing in this world. So you could share it, you can maintain it together with someone else. And the only thing that the one thing that everybody's looking for in this universe is companionship. People, love, understanding, doing the right thing day in and day out. And if we're not doing that, we're doing the wrong thing. So we have to wake up, go back into farming, go back into putting back this money into our communities, because what I see day in and day out is all these prescription people. Everybody's prescribed something. I'm tired of hearing people, I gotta go take a pill at a certain such time. You gotta go take a pill at a certain such time. Man, go clear your thought at a certain such time. Clean your consciousness, clean your temple. Eat something that's healthy for your temple to purify yourself. And make sure that it's on a pH balance on a 7.1 and up. Don't eat no starch. Don't eat no, how can I say, acidity food. Don't eat anything under 7. Anything under 7. 7 is neutral, 7.1 is alkaline. And until we don't start changing how we eat and how we see the community and then do something about it, because the government could play a big part by taxing these billionaires to the minority of the workfield could actually see something back in return. Because I know when I was growing up, you had first class, second class, and poor. Second class people was walking around like millionaires. First class people were billionaires. And then the lower class was always around. It was the poor people. You know what I'm saying? So now it went once again from rich to poor, from poor to rich. It ain't no between the line. Ain't no middle class people here. Ain't nobody. Now if you're a billionaire, you're surviving. And if you're not a billionaire, you ain't surviving. You just living day for day. And that's already played out. How we living day for day, day after day, when we're supposed to have something in return that is called saving 10% of our earnings. 10%, we can't even save 10% of our earnings. The way society is now, and the way rent is now, and the way the food costs is more than what it's supposed to cost, because genetically modified food costs is more to make but cheaper to buy. But then that's what got everybody sick, and whatever's good for the body and the temple costs an arm and a leg. So the way we getting paid, not even $15 an hour will benefit anyone to save at least 10%. So you have to multitask. You have to do multiple things to get residual income, to actually save 10%, to actually see something in the long run, to actually say that you have something to show at the end. When in reality, you should be showing it from the time that you start working. But remember, you're gonna get paid. You're gonna get charged the biggest taxes. You can make at least $20,000, $50,000. You pay more taxes than a billionaire, and that's not cool, bro. They need to charge and tax the billionaires, and let's reverse this and let's balance this out, and let the minority of people, the 95% of the consumers and workers, see some type of money for this year or for the future to come, moving forward, so they can have something for themselves, because of the amount of acres that we have on this planet. If you do the mathematics, we could divide this into everybody can own 6 acres each. And I'm talking mathematics because I do a lot of research and blueprinting things and actually putting things to make sense for the people. But if we all tax these big corporations and let them pay the price, instead of us paying the price as the ones that make less money but pay the most taxes, that I guarantee you this world will change in the next 12 hours. In the next 12 months. And by next year, give it 5 years doing that same process, that I guarantee you the minority of people will be successful. They will be vibrating and feeling good about themselves, because when you could do something for yourself and someone else that they don't have to do for you because you're doing it for yourself and others, then you know how that shit makes you feel? That shit makes you feel fucking awesome. It makes you feel like you that person that was supposed to do that for that person. Of course, you're going to feel good about yourself. But when you can't do something for yourself and someone else, and somebody's always doing something for you, and in return you can't do nothing for someone else, that shit makes you feel like, damn, I'm working all these hours. See, you could put 80 hours, that's a lot. You could put 80 hours, 100 hours a week, and still not be successful. It's just having a formula that benefits us all by now. And when that's going to happen? So I'm waiting for somebody we have to reset it. Hit these billionaires, hit these big corporations, Walmart, Target, Amazon, and tax them. It's Donald Trump, all these billionaires, everybody who front, I'm a billionaire and I don't pay that much taxes. Let's see when we hit you with that tax reform fine, boy, and see if it doesn't hurt your pocket like it hurts the minority of people that work in all these little establishments and all these fast food restaurants and all these stores that we buy clothes from day in and day out. The ones who are working this universe, the ones who go to work every day, those are the ones that you don't see. The ones you see are the ones who are the hard money investors that they didn't even put the effort or even put in that work, just like the employees do. The employee put the work. Employees put in work. Forget about putting me the employee of the month or the employee of the year. Nah. Damn, now he owns his own business. These companies got to show you how to own your own business or open up a business through you and keep this going. But what company is going to put you to work for them but not even show you the ropes of how to open your own company? You see, so many people could show us how to open up companies and show us how the process go and all that. But you think somebody's going to show you the gift that they have, knowing that they are selfish and they don't want nobody else to know the tricks of how they got there? People are selfish. I'm the person that if I know something that could benefit me, someone else and beyond, I share that. I share the wealth. I share the idea. I share everything. Because at the end, when I leave here, I'm not taking that with me. I came here to be a teacher and a student at the same time. I already caught on. I got it. Sometimes you got to wake up. We are here to be servants to each other, to be obedient childs, obedient people. We have to be obedient, not disobedient, but obedient, and serve each other. We are here. We are servants to each other, and the more we realize that, because I'm driving. I took the time out because I'm taking a long ride. So I said, let me just, as I'm driving, let me drop a download. But we need to tax these billionaires. Big money. And once we could do that, everything's going to change for the future. And let the minority people get that change, that little nice lump sum back in return for the tax for our tax refunds. Getting back this year. And this is the water we got to drink all day. The best water in the world. But anyway, it just came from Boston, from Logan Airport. It was like a little hour ride. So since I got this hour ride, and I told the family and the Team Me organizations and gods and goddesses that I'm coming out here every day to drop something. Even if it doesn't make sense to you right now, but listen, we need to tax these billionaires. We need to do something better for our communities, that are the 95%ers that wake up day in and day out. We wake up daily to put in this work. Imagine if we was putting this work from 5 in the morning to 9 at night and farming. Woof! Yo, we'll get back into the abundance of everything that we need that we don't have. Because food is actually free. It grows for free. We just lost the touch of farming. We need to get back to farming. And now we have to buy land because now everybody who has land is selfish with their land. So whoever want to buy land that is not selfish, share your land. And those who know how to grow, they know how to farm fruits and vegetables, invite them to your farm. Give them a place to stay. That's my journey. That's my mission right now, or the Team Me, because everybody's welcome to come to my platform once I get a couple of acres to start growing these crops and these fruits and vegetables. If you can maintain the land, it's yours. Let's get it. It ain't nothing mine. And this is where I want to get at. This is where I'm going to get at. I'm going to invite mad people to come to mine. Take a corner or two, man, and build. And grow your crops, and let's maintain this piece of land, these couple of acres. Once we can maintain a couple of acres and bring back what it is that we lack is food. We lack that good food. Especially food that grows on its own, that is not coming from a laboratory, that is not made by the hands of men. God ain't respecting you, man. Revelations 22, the healing of this nation will be with natural herbs. People be like, what? You ain't supposed to be messing with the flesh and the spirit and the soul of an animal. That's all I could tell you. We need to go back to farming. And that's it. So once I open up this restaurant, that farm will supply my restaurant. And as long as I can maintain what the restaurant needs day in and day out for me farming and actually supplying it from my own farm to the restaurant, then that's a go-go right there. That's a good look. I don't have to worry about where I'm getting my fruits, where I'm getting my vegetables, where this food came from, the contamination of this food with its pesticides and all that. I don't want none of that. I don't want genetically modified anything in mine or in the restaurant. Why? Because that's what we got in these restaurants day in and day out. Genetically modified food. Everywhere you go is genetically modified food, man. Give it 20 more years from now and you will not find real food in these states if you're not farming. But people talking about now go back into eating artificial food, fish, flesh. You see people go on one track but then fall off track and then try to bring you back to where they at. Lost and confused, but stay on that track. Because if Dr. Sebi left a platform for us to keep following, and don't let nobody else fool you talking about, oh, this is my alkaline nutritionist. The only alkaline nutritionist out there that is the #1 stunner that you're gonna see your results and you're gonna see the change is Dr. Sebi's. Mark my words. There's our people out there using Dr. Sebi's nutritionist and acting like they was the one that manifested it when they really didn't. People don't want to give credit where credit is due. So that small cleansing package, even that exclusive package, masculine and feminine, get on that. It's New Year's. Go spend some money on yourself. Spend some money on yourself. And make sure that money is spent well spent on yourself, on that nutrition. That exclusive package for females and males. Get it. DrSebiSellFood.com. Look up products, all products. Strobe down. Get that exclusive package for females and males. Women, get on that urine wash. Get on that estro. And get on that biento. That's what women need to do. Men, get on your testro. Get on your biento and get on your iron. And I swear to everything I love, y'all gonna be like, yo, I'm Superman and Superwoman, because you're gonna energize your alkalinity. Your alkalinity is gonna go up. And people don't know that. Once your alkaline charges up, because alkaline is in batteries. You see, when the body loses the alkalinity, it's because it's too far from the sun, so you're not getting the charge to boost the alkalinity. So when your pH balance keeps dropping, you lose the charge of alkalinity. So alkaline is in everything. And who don't want to eat alkaline food? The battery house alkaline. And this is what I tell people. You know, when you charge a battery, right? And the battery loses all the alkalinity. The battery doesn't charge because there's more acid than alkaline in the battery. Because the alkaline is what holds the charge for the battery to stay charged, and you could use it all day. The same thing with the body. If you don't go under the sun for at least a certain amount of hours, or at least an hour daily of sun, then you're not charging up. And then if you're not eating the right foods, right, your body's not charging up. And if you fall from the sun, definitely your body's not charging up. So that alkalinity stays low and you feel tired, you feel groggy, because now the pH balance keeps dropping. And the more your pH balance keeps dropping, that's when there's a problem. And this is what I say. We need to change how we eat. We need to tax these billionaires out here day in and day out. That's how the minority of people, of the 95%ers who work day in and day out, is paying that price. So we need to reset all this. And I'm just going to let y'all go with them thoughts for now. Come back tomorrow with another download to an upload. And everybody stay positive. Do what y'all have to do for yourselves and stay healthy mentally, physically, and emotionally. And once we can stay healthy mentally, physically, and emotionally, it is what it is. And that's all we have to do day in and day out. So I'm going to let y'all go. Team Me, stay positive at all times. And let's be the change. It's 2020. Stop being mad. Stop being mad at your significant other. Stop being mad at a complete stranger. And have the solution. Figure out why they're going through what they're going and why they putting themselves there to put you there. And if you can't help them to resolve their own issue, leave them where they stand, because eventually that seed that you plant in negative and bad soil will sooner or later get that positive message. It's all positivity. And love is love. I love myself. Love y'all more. Team Me, stay strong at all times. Peace to the kings and queens and gods and goddesses. Love is love at all times. Stay positive. But I'm out of here. Take care of yourselves.